The Laco Frankfurt is a very interesting and very modern interpretation of the Flieger watch theme. The Frankfurt was a kind of door opener for me to Laco and enabled me to make more videos about Laco watches than before. Hello and welcome to WatchMaxy's Watch Videos. My name is Axel and I'm glad to have you on the show. If not yet done, you can subscribe to my channel, and if you like my videos you can recommend my videos. You really support me by that, and it helps me to do other videos of interesting watches and show you watches you may not have seen before. But now let's move to the Laco Frankfurt. It's a really fresh, sporty, modern and robust interpretation of the Flieger watch theme, but it's definitely not denying its origin as a Flieger watch. I like it a lot, and it's really a nice watch which I can wear, although it's on the bigger side of my personal watch spectrum. Before we move into the details, I have to offer my apologies because I did tell something which was at least misleading, if not wrong. In forums and other videos, I mentioned that the Laco Frankfurt has a kind of redundant function because the GMT hand could be set on two different ways, or the GMT time could be set on two different ways in a redundant way. This is not the case. And I'm going to correct it in the video, so it is the first time that I have to correct a statement of mine, and I'm happy to do so because I wasn't quite right, and in this video I show you that there is no redundant function and each function stands in its own right. But now let's move to the very interesting and sporty and robust Frankfurt of Laco. The Laco Frankfurt comes in a really nice and slim metal case, and within that case we've got the watch itself. We've got a second strap which I think suits well. It does make the watch appear even more sportier and even fresher than the currently mounted black strap, so both do pretty well on that watch. You've also got a key holder or for your case. I personally don't need it, but it's nice to see it. And there is a spring bar tool, as you have it with other manufacturers as well. You've got a small one, and on the other side you've got a bigger one. That's the way how you receive the Laco Frankfurt. The Laco Frankfurt is a modern and, as I see it, really well done interpretation of the Flieger theme, and on my 17 centimeter wrist or 6 3/4 inch wrist, it still looks good, although it is a big watch, but I don't think it looks too big. The Laco Frankfurt comes in a case with a diameter of 43 millimeter. The lug width is 20 millimeter, and the lug to lug span is exactly 50 millimeter. The watch has a thickness of 12.5 millimeter and a slightly curved AR coated sapphire crystal on the front and a nicely decorated steel back. The Laco is powered by a movement called Laco 93, the basis of which is an ETA 2893-2. The watch weighs 100 gram, including the strap, and the indices as well as the hand have Super Luminova C3. The watch has a water resistance of 20 bar, equaling 20 meter. The whole case is bead blasted, grayish matte, which I do like a lot, between the horns and each of the well-made crown guards. During the video I will come to some details which I do like a lot and which I think could have done better, but overall it's a really well-made watch. Let's move to some close-up shots. The Laco is a really nice and modern and fresh version, and the first thing which was obvious to me is the inner GMT bezel with two different color tones. You see the upper half for the night hours and the lower half for the daylight hours, one black, one gray, so you can easily identify during which part of the day, during the night or day, the second time zone will be. The hand of the second time zone, the tip of the hand, is a triangle with orange color and orange lume, as well as the top triangle of the dial. The hands are well made, are temperature blued, and the second hand has a perfect length for me, not too short, not too long. I really do like this particular length of the second hand. The date window is white with black color, which is the best solution in terms of contrast and readability. However, a gray dial with white figures, white numbers, would have fitted better into the dial. However, it wouldn't have been as good as this one in terms of readability. The form of the case and the case itself is really well made, really clean done, no edges, nothing which doesn't belong to where it is. And what I personally do like a lot is that the crowns, which follow the typical shape of a Flieger crown, are nicely embedded into a fitting crown guard. This is really well made, and I do like it a lot, and I do like that this watch has an own design, an own case, and it's not a repetition of what you've seen hundreds, if not thousands times. It's a new design, and it is a modern watch, but it is undeniably a Flieger watch. At the beginning of the video I said that I have to request apologies, that I have to offer apologies, and here are the details. In forums and another video I mentioned that I think the way to set the GMT time are redundant. You can do it either via the crown at 4 o'clock and set the GMT hand. Let's do it. You can see it, it's always a full hour which you set. Now you have close to 6, next step is close to 7, next close to 8, close to 9, close to 10. Yeah, you can see it's always a full hour. However, you may have time zones where you need half an hour of adjustment, and for this you can use the crown at the 2 o'clock position. With that crown you can move the GMT bezel in clicking half-hour steps. Let's take the hour hand here for a clear view. You see it's just between 6 and 7, and by rotating it, it's exactly 6, between 5 and 6, exactly on 5, between 4 and 5, exactly on 4. So these are half-hour steps, and you can set even broken time zones by this particular function. And apologies, I've made a wrong statement, or at least a misleading statement. Both ways have their function in their own right and are required in order to set the time to any place in the world, and not just places with a multitude of 1 hour time difference. Now let's have a look at the Laco Frankfurt at night. The first video light first, second video light second, and we have a night view. This is the Laco Frankfurt at night, and I really do like it because the GMT hand has an orange colored lume, as well as the top triangle and the inner bezel with the 24-hour indices are also lumed. So you can read both time zones at night, and this is something I really do appreciate. What I also think is that this is a watch which shows at night exactly the same design and design elements as it does in daylight conditions, so it can be easily identified as the Laco Frankfurt. And if you turn it around and look at it from different angles, it's really a nice watch. It has a really good readability at night, so I do like it. The Laco Frankfurt comes as shown in the beginning with a really nice metal case and a second strap. This particular strap here is water resistant, and the watch currently retails in July 2020 at a price of 1,650 euro. There is a second version with a full black dial. The difference isn't really big, but I personally prefer the gray dial. It does appear a little bit sportier, it does appear a little bit fresher, and I like it better. Well, that has been the Frankfurt of Lacos. If you like the video, subscribe to my channel, recommend my videos, and look forward to the videos to come. So do I. Cheers, Axel.